Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in to Lounge with Fatima. Today I have yet another interesting topic. It's something all of us can relate to, books. Let's talk to Tarun and Gaile and hear all about their magical venture, Pick a Book. Welcome guys, how are you today?
Hi, Fatima. We're good. How are you?
Very well. How are you, Gaile?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Typical
So,
Sunday, except for this one.
yeah. We did order our book, of the wonderful
Yes.
illustrations, but there's still so much that I want to know from you guys. Why children's book?
So we're big fans of reading. Gail and I both have over the years spent a lot of time reading, and one of the things from early on we decided was that we'd inculcate that into the kids as well, and get them into the habit of reading and things like that. And as we sort of as Kian is the older kid. He's almost 5 now, and um, since he's been born, he's been fortunate enough also to get a lot of gifts and stuff in the form of books.
Mhm.
And we've seen the attraction to books that he's had. Then Trisha, the younger one, has also developed that. So two areas from that personal perspective, there was that attachment, knowing our kids love books and we love books, and then also just seeing the broader market, and how kids books is a sort of a venture that's well respected, well liked, and big. It's got a big following worldwide, so
Yeah.
there's scope and potential there as well. um I'll let Gail jump in, then I have some other thoughts as well.
Yeah.
You pretty much said everything,
So
but
let me ask you, Gail, how
yeah.
is Pick a Book and your books different from the other books in the market? Let's talk about that.
So yes, ours is we call it an ultra personalized
Mhm.
take on these personal books because they're not computer generated. We actually have artists to look at the pictures of these families, these kids, and they actually draw it like electronically, but still by hand.
Okay.
So it's not a program. It's actually artists who try to draw as much as closest likely to your image, like that, so you can actually see, or the kids can actually see themselves in it, not just like color. You choose the color of the skin, you choose the color of the hair. You actually look, the artists look, and then they draw what you are, how you are, like that.
It's like reliving. It's like my trip to London 2.5 years ago or 3 years ago. And I am reliving my entire trip to London with my child while we are reading. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, through a story, yeah.
Through a story.
Correct. So we're creating that. The way we thought about it was you're reliving a memory or something you've already done. And London was one story we have, but kids also go to the zoo, and a day at the zoo is our second title out there as well. So you can customize your day at the zoo and see yourself in front of your favorite animals, or your little one in front of your animals. So the one aspect was, obviously, we wanted to illustrate you into the story so you relate to it.
Mhm.
The other side of it is that, uh, and this stemmed maybe a bit from COVID. We talked a little bit about technology and the influence on our day to day lives. And uh, yes, there's good with technology, but we also think it takes away from a lot of things. There's this need to rush and process, and everything should be done at the click of a button. We're almost taking it a step back, and taking it to another era where hand drawn comics or illustrations were a big thing,
The old school way.
and old school way. And so
Yeah.
you appreciate the art, you appreciate the book. So it's not just about reliving your memory there, but it's about having a piece of art or a piece of work that you will treasure for years to come. So your son, when he looks back on it, he's like, whoa, this is what I looked
Yeah.
like. But 5 years, 10 years down the line, I can still look back on this and relive my time in London, sort of thing. So it'll never get old in that regard, because it will always be about you in London. That's sort of how we were approaching it.
So, how many stories are there so far?
So right now we have two. We'll come out with a third one very soon. It's again thanks to COVID and lack of travel. People have been reminiscing about their times on airplanes and in airports. So kids love flying as well. We've realized. So
Yeah.
it's the third title is My Airplane Ride, which is relives an entire kid's journey on from the
Yeah.
airports through the plane, and
Because sometimes it's really the journey that counts.
Yeah.
For kids, it's not the destination, but the actual journey of leaving the house and going to the airport, riding the plane, what they experience in the plane. And
Yeah.
interestingly, that is the first book, personalized book we made for our son. This third book that's coming out. So I think this is where we got the idea from. So it was his fourth birthday, and then I I I told my husband, "You're into writing, so why not write a personalized book for our son?" And then I look for an illustrator to actually draw us and embed us in the book. So that's where it all started. So that story, this story, the third book is actually a based. That's probably the most personal book that is coming out from Pick a Book,
Wow.
because that's
What is the age group that this is catering to? From 4 onwards? From yeah.
So we'll do it in two categories, and that's another feature we offer. You can choose when you order your book, you choose the age group of your child. So we have 0 to 4 and 5 to 8. Obviously, younger kids, the text needs to be simpler and easier to read for them to follow along. So we simplify the text and the writing in the book. And if it's the older child, we add a few more complicated words, not difficult, but it makes it more interesting and a learning experience for them as well. So you can sort of cater according to age groups as well. But I think 8 is probably where we limit it. Now, when I say that, I've seen parents who've enjoyed reading it too. So maybe there's no age group anymore. You might enjoy it as much as your son as well.
True. So tell me, Tarun, you know, there will be many viewers who'll be watching this, and you never know, somebody already might be thinking of, publishing a book or writing a book. So for you guys, now that everything is digitally done, books are available digitally. There are websites.
Yes.
Was this something that you thought would do well? Will be appreciated? How was the response? Because I don't know many people, like I'm one of the people who like to collect books, who like to buy books, physical books. I make sure my son reads proper, he needs to hold a book in his hand before he goes to bed. We read it out to him where need be. So how has this been as a response from digital to going back to the old schooling way? Like a physical book, people are actually getting rid of paper these days, trying to make sure. How has this been as a response?
So again, the books that have gone out, the parents that have ordered it have loved it, and that's purely a function of the quality of art and the design and the storytelling in there. So the whole thing about reliving it. Now, I agree that this is something we discussed as well, that there is this shift to digital and electronic, and less and less people are sort of using hard books. But if you see, I don't know if you can see, we are big on books as well. And basically, we were hoping, and there is a feeling that there are purists like you. I call it purists, but there are people like you and us who still want that feel of a hard copy book, and want to make sure that they can flip through the pages and feel the paper. To cater to sort of the electronic generation, if you want to call it that, when you order your Pick a Book, we also create we have a digital version for
That's great to know. Okay.
But it's also good to veer away from screen from time, especially for kids. And you already have a lot of screen time for games, for movies, for cartoons, for everything, for apps.
True.
So it's also a good way to take a break and read from a physical book.
That's such a great point, because this is also like a step off from screen time to actually physical reading. And the both have, screen of course, I mean, we are living in 2021, and I feel as much as we talk about children off screen time, it is also very necessary for children to sort of know all the gadgets and how they are used, and because they don't want to be left behind from their peers,
Yes.
right? So, but at
Correct.
the same time, I think it's there's nothing like, it's like, you know, creating a first photo album for your child. So this is
It's a memento. It's a keepsake for you. It's not just a storybook. It's an album also.
it's an absolutely. So I am so excited. I cannot wait for it. And yeah, so, and I think this is just the first one that I've ordered, and I'm definitely going to order more. So
Thank you. We need
more.
more. We need more like you.
absolutely. And I'm so going to spread the word. So, you know, yeah. So
Thank you for that.
so this question that I'm going to ask you, I'm sure you guys have been asked before. How did you guys meet?
We were studying in Manchester. We were taking our MBA. So yeah, we met in school, grad school.
Grad school.
We hung out, but we didn't actually date until after graduation.
And now this is on record because nobody believes
Nobody
us.
believes us.
But now it's on record.
We
So
never. We hung out together, but we never dated in school. It's like when we left Manchester, that's when we realized that we have, you know, fun. We were fond of each other more
that's
than friends.
that's when the bug clicked, sort of thing. It was a little late,
It's
but
weird. It's like we found ourselves missing each other more because, you know, you took for granted the time that you were in the MBA and you were in school, and then after everybody has left, that's when you realize, oops. And then
It's time to reconnect and let's get married.
yes, it
Tell
was
me
kind
about
of like that.
tell me about the influence. My favorite topic is food. Food of
Food.
any kind. So who cooks more, and what kind of food is cooked in the house more?
I
And what do the
definitely
kids eat?
cook more. I cook more. He's busy with full-time work, so I'm the one who usually takes care of house things.
Mhm.
Although
We
one of our babies are crying. So.
Oh,
I'll be back.
So yeah, I cook everything. When we got married, I asked my mother-in-law for recipes or Indian recipes, especially vegetarian, because there are days when we need to be
yeah.
vegetarian. And but mostly we eat international. So I'm from the Philippines, so I cook a lot of Filipino food, Asian food like Thai, Japanese,
Love it. Yeah.
yes, Malaysian, Indonesian, Singaporean, yeah, Korean. We love Korean food also. So it's a mix of a lot of things. During the week, we'll have all of it. We'll have pasta. The next day, we'll have curry. The next day, we'll have adobo, which is a popular
Uh-huh.
Filipino dish. It's everything. And on Sundays, we do Sunday roast.
Excellent. I mean, and there's nothing like it because, you know, I'm such a foodie myself, and there's nothing like exploring different cuisines.
Yes,
And
definitely.
sometimes when I'm cooking it myself, I try to create a little fusion out of it. I mean,
Yes,
you know,
definitely.
that's what my spices do.
You can't avoid it because of your background. You have a certain taste that you're looking
Yeah.
for in a dish.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can't help but, you know, add a little bit of your flavor to whatever dish you prepare.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
So for Tarun, usually I cook non-spicy food. So he would always add something. So
yeah.
we have a lot of spicy sauces from Tabasco, sriracha,
Oh,
chili
wow.
oil, chili bean sauce. We have a whole range of spices just for Tarun. So you know he can match it with the flavor of the food.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, your kids are still very young, but are they getting used to the same kind of cuisines, or is it
Yes.
like okay?
Because they eat whatever we eat. I don't prepare special food for them.
Excellent.
So they just eat. And then they're getting used to the spice also. They eat, especially my youngest. My youngest is not even 2 years old and she likes
Oh, she loves Oh, that's amazing.
kimchi. And then, you know, when it's spicy, she would drink her milk. So that to tone it down. But
How
she loves the flavor.
wow. I
Yeah.
recently discovered this combination of kimchi in sushi,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's a very interesting combination, especially with salmon.
Really, I've not tried that. I've not tried it.
So I've
Salmon.
never had it before anywhere else, but I recently had it, and it's a bit overpowering for my taste, but it's an interesting interesting combination.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Will you keep on will it be a staple at your house?
On weekends.
Yeah.
It's you. What is a staple at my house?
No, that kimchi salmon combination will
It's
it be
usually
a
like
regular thing?
and just on weekends.
Mm.
Usually because the week is so busy for us, so we try to just cook some lentils, cook some rice, cook some this and that, and it's usually the weekends when we want to relax and
Yes.
just try a few things out, maybe grab something from outside if we're not cooking something special at home. And so I'm still convincing my son to try some sushi. And he's like, I think I'm going to take some time to do that, because just once he had a vegetable one, and he's still acquiring the taste for it. So
Yeah. Yeah, my children eat sushi, but only the rice and the wrapper. So
it's
it's a good
still a good
start.
start.
Sometimes with avocado, sometimes with egg, but they've not eaten raw sushi yet.
Yeah,
I think it will take time. They're still young anyway, so as long as we keep on eating these things, they'll eventually try it out.
yeah, yeah. So yes, so this was really exciting, and wanted to ask Tarun about his thoughts as a writer, and he's a blogger, and he's been
Yes.
writing on different magazines, and also as a parent in on a website.
Um,
So yeah.
I'll go get him because I think my daughter wants me and not him actually. Yeah, he's always been a writer, and so he usually after a full day at work, it's one of his ways to wind down, actually to write out his thoughts, or he always has something to write about. Seriously,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
never runs out. I used to have a blog, but it's if you're not natural in it,
yeah.
it just fades away.
So what was
I
the blog
tried to
about?
keep it. It was about travels in my 20s.
Okay.
So yeah, the title of it is the world is my playground. So I used to blog when blogging was not very popular yet. So
Mhm.
I may have made a mistake in stopping it.
Oh, hello, there you are.
We have one more guest.
Hi.
She heard Mama speaking, so she was like, "Finished. I want to go."
Absolutely welcome. It's so wonderful to have you too. So,
Thank
Tarun,
you.
you as a writer and a blogger, we talked a lot about food and sushi and fusion food. So,
Wow.
now, yes, and
How
it's
about
a
it?
very interesting topic. But now we're going to talk about you as a writer and a blogger. You want to tell us a little about it, and
Yeah, sure.
what is things that you have learned? Because it does go back to sometime 2018 when you started writing about it. The things that you have learned, and then of course COVID happened. Please tell us a little about it.
So I've been writing. So I've been writing for more than 15 years now, I think.
Mhm.
I had my own personal blog, and then, I generally have a conversational style of writing. So everything I write about is more, I'm always thinking about the reader. So it's more about an interactive sort of post.
Mhm.
When I first did my posts, I was blogging for myself, and I would post on social media. I got then invited to come and write for the Huffington Post in the US, and then I started blogging for them regularly. But again, it was very topical. I would write about food because I love food. I would write about travel. I would write about
Family,
family.
kids.
My grandparents were from Sindh in Pakistan, and
Okay.
I'm a very proud Sindhi, and so I wrote about the cultural influence that has played on my life, and things like that. And I then got invited to write for a recent book that was published on Sindhis, And I think one thing has led to another. But what I've learned along the way is, uh, keep the writing style topical, keep it relevant. Don't change your style because somebody says something. Keep your reader in mind as you're writing it, and make sure it's engaging enough for them to ultimately want to pick up your book or want to pick up your article to read it. So at the end of the day, there's many writers, and there's many different styles of writing, and you're obviously competing against everybody. But it's how you present yourself and how you write that sort of will distinguish you, and you will have your own fan following in a way. So you know that's sort of what I've learned. I don't take it, maybe I do take it seriously, but I don't take it to heart if someone doesn't, like my
Criticizes
style,
you,
yeah, or criticizes me, and that's their personal opinion. I don't mind it, but I'm not going to change my style just to adapt to one person's criticism or one person's feedback. Yes, maybe I'll improve, maybe I'll change it here or there, but I'm not going to change my entire style. So that's the basic thing I've learned about writing, or as I've written over the years.
So, what are the three things that Tarun and Gail have learned since COVID happened, since 2020 and now the beginning of 2021?
Health.
Health is
Health
very
is
important.
very important. I mean, we've seen a lot close friends and acquaintances. They've got COVID, or they've got not just COVID, but other illnesses during COVID.
Yeah.
It was really hard. Seeing them, watching them,
Family time
family time.
is
Not just family time here. I mean, we appreciated our family time, but family time from our relatives abroad,
Yeah.
which we really miss.
I'm sure you'll relate as well, right?
Yeah.
Not maybe having family in Oslo, but always having to interact and connect with people
Yeah.
back home in Pakistan and elsewhere. It's the same thing. We've made a greater effort to connect with these people, and
Yeah.
to engage with them more regularly, and sort of, as we discussed at the start, not take it for granted. That's number two. And for me personally, number three, just take advantage of the opportunities when they're presented. Just go for it, because you never know when it will come back, or if you'll ever get a chance again. And I don't know if you talked about it, but Pick a Book was formed at the height of the pandemic, and it stemmed from us doing the book for Kian, and our experiences with books. But it was an opportunity because I was out of work at the time. We always had this
We
itch
always wanted to
to,
have a business of our own, or something of our own.
yeah. And so when we had the time, sort of, I'd call it the stars aligned in a way, and we just took advantage of the time and we went for it. So again, that would be our three for sort of the last year and a half that we've been through.
Thank you, guys. This was an absolute pleasure. And thank you for introducing me this little one. And I cannot wait to meet you guys. Hopefully, Norway, London, we will try to meet each other and maybe talk more often. And I wish you
Absolutely.
guys all the best. And I'm looking forward to more coming with Pick a Book, more topics coming. And yes, stay safe, stay healthy.
Thank you for having us.
No, thank you, Fatima, and we look forward to hosting you all when you're here in the UK. We're actually now in a beautiful part of the English countryside, not really countryside, but a beautiful part of the country. So when you're here, we definitely look forward to having you, and maybe
forward.
picking up on that sushi conversation and all of that as well.
Thank you, guys. This was an absolute pleasure. You have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Likewise. Take care. Bye.
Bye.